Additionally, Bernie Sanders is having a hearing today in the Senate on whether or not taxpayers should be subsidizing the workforce of very profitable corporations, companies like Walmart, like Amazon, like others that don't pay their workers at least a $15 minimum wage. And so Bernie's having that hearing today. We're out here in support of $15, a $15 minimum wage, and we're going to be speaking to some workers that have been in this fight for a long time, some of them since 2013. They've won higher wages on federal contracts, but that's not enough. Is 1010 enough?
No!
What do we want?
15!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
15!
When do we want it?
Now!
And so we're out here.
Hey! Poverty wages has got to go. Hey, hey!
Poverty wages have got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Poverty wages have got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Poverty wages have got to go.
What do we want?
15.
When do we want it?
No.
What do we want?
15.
When do we want it?
No.
What do we want?
15.
When do we want it?
No. All right. So again, we're out here in Washington, D.C. As we know, Congress is debating whether or not to include a 15 minimum wage in the COVID relief package. It's going to have to go to reconciliation, and we're going to, support that. We're going to fight for it. We got to make sure it's included in the House version, and we've got to make sure the parliamentarian includes it in the Senate version, because honestly, reconciliation is the only way we're going to get 15 anytime soon. So I'm going to start by doing some interviews with some workers. We have some low-wage workers that work at the Pentagon, that work at the U.S. Congress in the cafeteria. They do food service. Workers that have been involved in this fight since 2013, fighting to raise wages on federal contracts. Obama did that back in 2014. He raised minimum wage on federal contracts, but it only went up to 10.10. It's been going up every year since then. But we need Biden and Democrats to finish the job, to raise wages to $15 an hour, to make sure they're tied to inflation so that those wages come up as the cost of living and everything else goes up. So I'm going to start an interview with a Pentagon worker, Lisbeth Cáceres. Lisbeth is going to come up here. We're going to talk in Spanish because she's more comfortable in Spanish, but I'll do just translations into English. So Lisbeth, buenos días, ¿cómo estás?
Bien, ¿y usted?
Muy bien, gracias. So Lisbeth, how are you? Good, thank you. How are you? So Lisbeth, díganos, ¿en dónde trabaja?
Yo trabajo en el Pentágono, en McDonald's del Pentágono.
¿Y desde cuándo está usted luchando para que los salarios suban para los trabajadores como usted?
Del 2013
Ajá.
estoy luchando para que los suban el salario. A mí me están pagando ahorita 11.65 porque yo vine a la lucha para que me pudieran pagar 11.65.
So Lisbeth says that she's been fighting to raise wages since 2013. Because she went on strike back in 2013 and several times afterwards, her wages went up from $7.25 to $9.50. Again, she works at the Pentagon. The Pentagon is in Virginia. And so, the minimum wage there is lower than it is in D.C. Entonces, ¿qué es lo que quiere usted que se logre hoy? ¿Qué quiere que hagan los demócratas?
Yo le pido a los demócratas y al presidente que los suban el salario a $15 porque 11.65 no es suficiente para mantener nuestra familia.
So Elizabeth's out here again. Her wages were raised because she went out on strike because she fought for it. But she needs the Democrats and Biden to finish the job. She needs them to raise wages to 15 so that workers can survive without having to rely on public assistance to make it. ¿Algún otro mensaje que tiene usted para el presidente o para los demócratas?
Pues otro mensaje que le estoy dirigiendo al presidente es de que tome en cuenta a todos los trabajadores que trabajamos. Venimos a este país a luchar por nuestra familia y por conseguir un estado de educación para nuestros hijos.
So Liz is saying, she wants President Biden to take all workers into account, especially workers that came into this country to work, to get a better life and a better education for their kids. Muchas gracias, Lisbeth. Thank you, Lisbeth, very much. So you heard it from Lisbeth. She's a worker at the Pentagon. She works at McDonald's at the Pentagon. She's been fighting to raise wages since 2013. She got a win out of the Obama administration. President Obama signed an executive order raising the minimum wage on federal contracts to $10.10 an hour. But that's not enough for Lisbeth. It's not enough for any of us. We need all workers to earn at least $15 an hour. And so we're out here supporting $15 minimum wage in the COVID relief package, making sure the Democrats included in their version, making sure that senators included in their version so that it can make it through budget reconciliation. We're waiting a little bit on whether or not the parliamentarian in the Senate is going to accept that, but we're confident that he will, because honestly, this is one of the few chances we're going to have to raise wages through budget reconciliation. So I'm going to bring up another worker now, Alba, who works at the cafeteria inside the U.S. Capitol. She's been, again, fighting for 15 since 2013. So, Alba, how are you doing today?
I'm good.
So, Alba, do you have a message for President Biden and for Democrats in Congress? What do they need to do?
They need to be fair with all of them and with all of us, because we start fighting for this. It was not easy for us. We had to go up many, many times to get something in there. And thanks God we have it now, but it's not fair. Some of us having some no, because we all have the same necessity. More now that it's tough for us this time, like late payments and mortgage, rent, cars. So it's very hard to put food in our tables, and it's for everyone's now. So it had to be fair for all of them. We all were like the same or more. So.
Right. And so, Alba, you have been fighting to raise wages on federal contracts because you work under a federal contract, right? Since 2013, at least, no? We've been fighting it for a while. You guys won. What is it that you think helped workers at the Capitol have their wages go up?
Well, in many ways now, but it's like, and I still saying it's never enough, like what we're doing, because I'm studying there since 2007. It was very hard, like surviving with that money. And then now we're so happy to get it. But like and I say always, like we need to fight for the rest of us. It's not just only one group. It had to be all together. And we're going to fight and support all of them to keep everybody the same thing.
Right. So Alba's been, again, fighting. She won a raise for herself and for other workers at Capitol and on federal contracts. But Alba's saying that we need all workers to earn 15. So thank you, Alba, very much for joining us today. And look forward to continuing in the fight with you.
Yes. No, please.
15.
15.
When do we want it?
No.
What do we want?
15.
When do we want it?
No.
Hey.
Ho, ho. Poverty wages have got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Poverty wages have got to go.
Hey. Poverty wages has got to go. What do we want?
15.
When do we want it?
Now. So we're out here in Washington, D.C., supporting the inclusion of a $15 minimum wage in the COVID relief package that's being debated in Congress. We need to make sure House Democrats keep it in their package. We need to make sure it makes it into the Senate package. And so workers are out here. Again, some of these workers earn less than 15. Some of them earn more, but they're out here supporting a minimum wage of 15 for all workers around the country, because it's not fair that some workers have to struggle. We live here in Washington, D.C. We heard from Lisbeth. She's a worker at the Pentagon right across the river here, and she's earning less than 15, while workers here in Washington, D.C. are earning 15 or more. It's really the cost of living is the same across this whole region, and it's the same all over the country, right? Workers are struggling, working 2 or 3 jobs, relying on public assistance. Bernie Sanders has a hearing happening now where they're debating whether or not taxpayers should be subsidizing a low-wage workforce for companies like Walmart or Amazon that are making money hand over fist, especially during the pandemic. And so we're out here supporting workers, supporting raising wages, and supporting a $15 minimum wage. So we're going to speak to another worker now, Luz Villatoro. She also works at the Capitol. Luz, come on up. And we're going to do this one in Spanish, and I'll do the translation again as well. So, Luz, ¿cómo estás hoy?
Bien, gracias.
Platícanos un poquito acerca de lo que pasaron ustedes para lograr que alzaran sus salarios. So, Luz, tell us a little bit about what you guys went through in order to win higher wages at the Capitol.
Pues nosotros tuvimos que luchar y anduvimos pues en la lucha hasta que logramos lo que queríamos y sí, nos aumentaron. Ahora ganamos un poquito más de 15 y lo que le pedimos al presidente que él apruebe a 15 a todos los trabajadores.
So Luz is saying, look, I mean, we fought really hard. We went on strike several times here at the Capitol in order to win a higher minimum wage. Now we're earning a little bit more than 15, which we're grateful for. But it's not fair that some workers doing food service earn 15 and some don't. We need all workers to earn 15. Entonces, Luz, ¿tienes algún mensaje para los demócratas o para el presidente? ¿Qué es lo que necesitan hacer ellos? ¿Necesitan apoyar a los trabajadores?
Necesitan apoyar a los trabajadores porque también necesitamos ganar 15 porque para vivir un poquito mejor, no se vive bien, pero para sobrevivir necesitamos que nos aprueben a 15 la hora.
So Luz is saying, yeah, look, I mean, we need Democrats to stand up. We need the president to stand up. All workers deserve a $15 minimum wage, and we need them to order that because that's what we need to survive. And Luz, la última pregunta, ¿qué crees que si no suben los salarios, tú crees que gente va a necesitar asistencia pública para poder sobrevivir o van a necesitar 2 o 3 trabajos para poder sobrevivir?
Claro que sí, necesitaríamos tener 2 o 3 trabajos, porque si no, pues no alcanzamos, tenemos que cuidar que nos cuiden nuestros hijos para salir a trabajar. Y si ganamos a 10, $8, no podemos pasar con un trabajo. Tiene que ser 2 o 3.
So Luz is saying, yeah, you know, if wages don't get raised, then workers are going to need 2 or 3 jobs in order to be able to live, right? We need folks to take care of our kids. They need to go to school. You know, we need to pay bills, and $8, $10 an hour is not enough, right? We need a $15 minimum wage, and we need all workers to earn that. Muchas gracias, Luz. Te lo agradezco mucho.
De nada, gracias a todos.
What
Right.
do we want? 15. When do we want it?
No.
What do we want?
15.
When do we want it?
No.
What do we want? 15. When do we want it? No. Hey.
Ho, ho. Poverty wages have got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Poverty wages have got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho.
Poverty pay has got to go.
Again, so we're out here in Washington, D.C. with some workers from the Capitol, workers from the Pentagon, workers that are, you know, doing food service. They're earning, in some cases, a little bit more than 15, in some cases, a little bit less, but they're all out here supporting a $15 minimum wage for all workers because we can't survive on $7.25. We can't survive on $10.10. We can't survive on $11 or $12. Workers need 15 in order to be able to afford to pay their bills, take care of their families, put food on the table. No worker that works full-time should have to rely on 2 or 3 jobs to make ends meet. And so that's why we're out here today. Again, there's a hearing happening inside the Senate today. Senator Bernie Sanders, the chairman of the Budget Committee. I'm sure you guys saw our stickers. Mr. Chairman Bernie Sanders is having a hearing today around low-wage workers and taxpayers subsidizing a low-wage workforce for companies like Walmart, companies like Amazon, companies that don't pay enough of a living wage, and so that workers have to survive on public assistance, on food stamps, on rent subsidies in order to be able to make ends meet. It shouldn't be like that in the richest country in the world. It shouldn't be like that for a company like Walmart that's making profits hand over fist. It shouldn't be like that for Amazon. You know, Amazon has workers at an Amazon plant in Bessemer, Alabama, are in the middle of a union drive. If they're able to win that, that could be a breakthrough moment for workers' rights in America. Having a union at Amazon would be huge. And so we need not just $15, but we also need workers that should have access to and be able to vote and join a union if they so choose. And so that's why we're out here today. We're out here to make sure that the Democrats keep a $15 minimum wage inside the COVID package in the House, regardless of what happens in the Senate. We also need it in the Senate, but they should keep it in the House anyway. We're waiting to hear what happens with the parliamentarians ruling, but the senators should keep it in their package as well so that we can guarantee that we can raise wages to $15 an hour this year, not next year, and not the year. We need to do it this year so that we can get to 15 in a few years. And so we're out here supporting that. If you are watching us online, whether it's on Facebook or on Twitter, drop us a note. Do you think we need to raise wages in this country? Do you think workers should rely on 2 or 3 jobs to make ends meet? I hope the answer is no.
Democrats,
I'll be checking the comments a little bit
keep
later today.
a $15 minimum.
Some of them. And so, again, we're out here supporting a $15 minimum wage. We're going to leave now with a chant. So everybody ready? Hey, hey, ho, ho. Poverty wages have got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Poverty wages have got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Poverty wages have got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Poverty wages have got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Poverty wages have got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho.